Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here, not the president of Uruguay, and we're gonna get into some statistics today about the series I just played against all my opponents from the APAC. As you guys would know, as you're watching this video, I am on the plane on the way to Doha and on the way to Sweden, of course, and then I'm out of action after during APAC, and won't be filming any more content over here. There might be a few Road to Number One videos that I can squeeze in before I leave, but we shall see about that. Probably just gonna do a bit more. We can practice on Road to Number One, I think. Anyway, um, let's get into talking about the statistics. Obviously, for those of you who haven't watched the videos, feel free to pause and go ahead and do so. But I'll just spoil the results. So it was, of course, 2 wins and 5 losses across the series for me. We ended up beating Spaghetti and Mate Potato and losing to everyone in my group, as well as Sheena and Angelo. The biggest loss was Leroy, which was a 5-0 by him. And then followed by Sheena, who 4-1'd me. Everything else was either a 2-3 or a 3-2. Interestingly, the tightest series in terms of round and game length was the Lero one, which is the one I lost the most. So it wasn't the case that it was a thrashing. It was a very close series, as you guys saw. That being said, I think the win rate here actually refers to how many rounds I was closer, how many rounds they were closer. Lero actually got closer than me about 60% of the time, which is interesting. But I actually found that it's oftentimes me doing big damage on a bigger country, because smaller countries are not really my strength. So I feel like it makes sense that my individual round win rate is a bit lower. And then you can see my round win rate is actually just brought down mostly by moving as well, which is no surprise. I'm not trying to be precise on the easy ones, and even on the mid-sized ones, I'm often happy to sacrifice time to go for a quicker and less accurate guess. Average score, it's actually interesting. My NMPZ average score is the same as my no moving one. And my moving average score is not even much more. That's actually fascinating. I only improved 200 points by moving around. That being said, it definitely is improved by moving around, but not that much. I mean, it is, insta-sending does have its virtues, but then you got to consider what the opponent might go ahead and find. So, yeah, this is, I mean, actually, there's a few stat sheets, so we'll go through all of them that I'm aware of, and thank you to everyone who did take the time to make these. Clearly, a lot of effort's gone into them. So, yeah, thanks so much. But breaking down by mode here, so Angelo, I had pretty good showing on moving, actually. Yeah, I did, and I won one of the moving games, won one of the no move. Interestingly, no move, I was losing so many rounds and just multi-merchanted on one of the no moving. I was struggling on NM against Angelo. NPZ game was nice and even. Again, the sample sizes for NPZ is obviously really tiny. Like on Spaghettis, I flawless, but I mean it was a very it was a very quick game, and only one, of course. You have to take these all with a grain of salt. Sheena destroyed me on moving. That much we can say with confidence, that Sheena is very good at moving. And no moving actually got closer 60% of the time on the no moving series against Sheena, but lost both games. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, so I think that's all I want to say there. Breakdown by country. This is kind of interesting. So US was the country we ended up getting the most. My closer percentage was only 36%. But the damage difference without multis included was 181. So it's not that bad. For example, Mexico is much worse, even though I was also only close to 30% of the time on Mexico. So yeah, you can pause and check out any of these. I mean, this is fascinating. France, 14%. It's one of my stronger countries. Well, I'm trying to think if there was any like big one that brought the average down here, but I mean, yeah, damage median, average damage. There was one where I missed France clearly, because the median damage difference is very low, but the average one is quite high. So there's some big anomaly sticking out a little bit there. But yeah, France being that low, I mean, it just goes to show like a small sample size, but also I guess maybe some of their own moving or what, because I don't know, like France is definitely a strong country for me. Then let's have a look down the list here. I mean, maybe up the list is more interesting. Philippines, 70%. One of the countries I listed as a weakness going in for the personal statistics. So it really is. In Australia, 50%. Like, I guess I'm playing against some Australians, but still, you'd think it would be higher. It's a country I've grinded a whole lot of. Russia, after extensive practice, bit disappointing to have it 33%. I feel like I choked on Russia a few times. Malaysia, obviously a good country. Thailand, interesting that it's 62%. Sample size is a bit too small. Turkey is a country I feel confident on these days. I guess, yeah, I mean, like average differential of damage in Russia was 2,000. So I think there was, I mean, median 50. So there's definitely a few Russia rounds that were causing me some serious problems. Yeah, so interesting. Oh, is that must be total different? No, it's total average. Yeah, no, it's just average. Yeah, sorry, interesting. Obviously, like, what are some other ones that stick out here? I mean, once you get below like 5, it's too insignificant to really say anything. Guatemala, I was close to 100% of the time. It's like, no, it's not a good country for me, clearly. Is there anything else actually interesting here? I mean, Peru and Canada both. I mean, Canada was looking bad, but that's mostly the result of particular rounds. For example, the one where I went like, what was it? Something bad, like New Brunswick. It was like I think it was Prince Edward Island on Manitoba or something awful like that. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for the statistically significant stuff in terms of countries. You can really focus on everything interesting pretty much happens in the first 7, and it was actually the case that I was further away on the most important, most showing up countries apart from Philippines. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, okay, let's continue to look through things here. This is actually individually each game. Yeah, this one started horribly against Angelo, and then we lost it. Yeah. The no moving games were going quite poorly. You can see in the red the countries I actually got wrong. So I sent Italy and Bulgaria. That was a throw. I remember that. UK and Ireland. Feel like I feel like I was fairly confident on that guess, but I can't really remember what exactly it looked like. That was NMPZ. Norway on Finland moving is probably the worst guess of the series, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that on land. I hope not anyway. Probably will just like shore up the country because that was way too cocky. Sweden or Norway, as I recall, we both went Sweden, so yeah. Belgium on Spain. How did I manage to go Belgium on Spain, actually? Just trying to think what the round actually looked like. That's seemingly a nonsensical guess. We lost a lot of points on it, clearly. Um, I don't know what actually caused me to do that, but yeah. Mexico on Colo, we both did that. Italy on US against Sheena. We both went Italy because we had the front of the car. I remember that. Slovenia on Austria, that's fine. Poland on Lithuania. That one I did lose a lot of points on, actually. Yeah, minus 2,800. I still don't hate the guess, but that was a difficult round. Good one by Karania. Colombia on Ecuador. That was terrible. I was on moving. Like, I actually was getting the country wrong on moving sometimes, which is like, shouldn't really happen. And then we scroll down a bit more. In the Spaghetti series, Ireland or Belgium. That was, yeah, tough round. Not a very good guess. We had it in the right 50-50. He went UK. Is there anything else here? I mean, like the Italy on Spain and the Greece on Italy was the worst. These two were completely devastating. Minus 12,000, minus 11,000. They were high multis in games that we had advantages in. So it definitely sucked. Like up to this point, we were winning by far on the no moving game. So, I mean, and actually someone left an interesting comment. I think it was on this one, yeah. Final statistics by show. I wasn't quite able to follow exactly what the logic was here. You can pause the video and read the comment, but apparently, and this is maybe the most interesting thing of the video, my total win rate on moving was 35%, total on no moving was 42%, total on NPZ was 28%. Low sample size, but still. I mean, it goes to show what I've been practicing, I guess. But if you take into account the 10-round limit, so if games didn't go the full way with the super high multis that don't actually exist in the World Cup, well, they are super high, but you know what I mean, then it would have been a 50% win rate on moving, a 57% win rate on no moving, and even a 42% win rate on NMPZ. Well, that's, like, it's actually kind of shocking how much I was choking in these, because I just don't really consider myself a choker like that. Like, I can handle the pressure fairly well, I think. So either it's just a small sample size, but it honestly seems statistically significant that it's all 3 modes in which I was like basically almost halving my win percentage. Not quite, like taking a whole third out of my win percentage for no particular reason, just because the multis were high and I was losing rounds in when it mattered the most. Um, doesn't that just like is surprising to me. It's frustrating as well, of course. I feel like yeah, because I feel like yeah, you look here, and I'm winning basically exactly 50% of everything in the series, and yet I go down quite heavily in the entire series. But you know, I was commentating the games. Sometimes at high multis, you really have to lock in, and it's difficult to do so. If you are commentating, that's all I can really say there though. It's a really interesting one. I don't think there was yeah, so Sure, I think was one of the ones who yeah, so Sure also left this comment here. Um, yeah, really interesting stuff. Anyway, let's head on over because other people have made them as well. Shouts to Spaghetti, one of my opponents actually, for making this one. And we can actually move from no move to NMPZ here. So this is the no moving one. So I guess I don't really remember what this means. I think this one's okay. On no moving duels, when I won, I had 4,000 HP left over, but when I lost, the opponent only had 2.5k. So you see, I guess my wins were convincing and my losses were tight. But again, only 14 games. Moving NMPZ I guess will show us the other 7 if it actually works. Not really sure. Okay, there we are. Yeah, it shows us the 7. Yeah, the 28% win rate. So who did we actually beat? It doesn't actually show the record against the opponents here on the left, but NMPZ, we won against Sheena, and we won against we lost to Mate. So we won against the 2 Japanese on NMPZ, lost to everyone else. I have a feeling at the actual tournament, if I actually get to play NMPZ, then I will do better than that. But yeah, of course I have to get to those, man. The stress is real. Like I know we've seen from this series that I can't have my expectations too high. Obviously, I wanted to win the whole tournament. I still think I can, but we can't have my expectations too high. But it's a little confronting. Like the fact that I might not even get to play an NFZ game if I somehow bomb my moving games, get too nervous, what have you. Yeah. Okay. So what else do we have inside here? We also had a countries thing. This one actually might be a bit easier to read. So this is the NMPZ duels only. So can we change it to everything? None. Okay, this is excellent. This is what I actually wanted to look at. I forgot there was a none section. Okay, so here we go. You can even see, like, on wins, convincing. On losses, a bit tighter. For sure, a bit tighter. And yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Time to guess on losses. My opponents guessed faster, but I guess that kind of makes sense. They were they were just more likely to be more confident on the rounds and that kind of thing. And probably I lost to people who do play a bit faster anyway, like Mate and Spaghetti. Probably not the fastest players out there, so kind of makes sense. But very interesting nonetheless. Okay, so let's go through the countries here. Slightly different calculation. We had 18 rounds of US according to this. Maybe there's like an overseas territory or something that we had, but yeah, we're kind of seeing the same we're seeing the same statistics here, I think, so that's fine. I guess maybe we could say median distance. Like where was my my worst distance on a country was Belgium, from going Spain on Belgium, right? Mongolia, yeah, we had one Mongolia against Made Potato, that didn't go well. Greece, I missed the country. Italy, I missed the country a couple of times. So yeah, but what about countries that were going rather nicely? So 6 on Uruguay's just a great country for me. Germany, I feel like Germany's just like pretty intuitive country. Same thing with Chile, stuff like that. Middling countries here. It's like Austria. Yeah, nothing too fascinating there, I would say. Median distance. What about damage on a loss? So when we lost a game, or yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, whenever we played a game and we lost, here was our damage for these countries. Kind of interesting. Damage difference. Botswana, my strongest country, after 3 rounds, doing 800 points average. Botswana's a strong country for me. I know most of the roads, so yeah. Another cheat someone made. Again, we're seeing similar type of thing. This one's not quite updated with everyone, I think, but it is really nicely presented. So thank you for making this, whoever did. And sorry that I'm filming this too early. Yeah, I think we've more or less covered throughout these exactly what's up. Look at that. Guessing in 7 seconds and going Finland and Norway was crazy. Well, it's interesting. Actually, this is kind of interesting. The timer. I think probably a friend here has actually done this manually, which is kind of very nice of them. Let's see here. Let's sort by. Well, that'll just give us the quickest ones. Oh, Ukraine. I was really guessing quickly on a lot of rounds. Like, look how many rounds I guess. Sub 10. That's I guess 26 rounds. Now let's see the opponents. I'm kind of curious about this. Yeah, a lot less. Yeah, almost half as much. Lero on moving going Faroe Islands in 4 seconds. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of small countries, but 7-second NMPZ US guess from Sheena. That was very interesting, actually. I mean, was there a damage difference there? There was a huge damage difference. It was the Oregon round that he got right, which I almost switched to. Yeah. That paid off. The insta guesses. I mean, that's what we can see Sheena definitely capable of such things. Interestingly, Lero, we did not have many full 60-second rounds, but against Spaghetti, we had a lot, especially on moving and no moving, clearly. Karania, we had a lot going to 60 seconds as well. Eamon, a lot in that series too, for sure. Yeah, fascinating stuff, fascinating. But yeah, definitely, I mean, the faster guessing. It makes sense, right? Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. I mean, so all in all, we lost most. We didn't have any, like, out the straight up dominant performances. I mean, it should have really been 4-1 for us against May Potato. But we got the Mongolia at the end, and I wasn't playing quite up to my usual standard on NPZ. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. What do you guys think I should practice when I get to Sweden? Apart from all the info stuff like the Brazil phone codes and whatnot, then the question is, do I sit there, play NPZ, get really comfortable with that? Do I sit there playing moving? Think I'll just play whatever feels right at the time and try and lock in. I think we should be playing on the second day, rather than the first day. So that should be. I think that's good. I think to get acclimatized. Also because I haven't played, because I've been content pilled. Haven't been like playing as much as I should have in the last like 3 days. So yeah, that's good. I'm happy with the arrangement. Let's just hope. Fingers crossed. Pray for me, guys. Hopefully I can do the very best I can. Have fun doing it. It's gonna be fun regardless. And look, I'm going on a holiday to Canada to visit my grandpa straight after, so I can't be too sad if I lose. And surely I'll be able to go to the World Cup even if I do. But let's not talk about that. Let's have me get there as a player. And yeah, okay. I'll see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed this whole series. Thank you all for watching and supporting. Go ahead and check out the ones you didn't watch, because all the series were exciting in their own ways. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.